Hey guys, welcome to Hudson Lighting. I'm Chris Hudson, and today I'm showing you a build plate that we're going to use to hopefully help us solve a little issue. So at present, what happens when we build our spike lights is that the guys literally take the leads and hang them around their necks. So I will show you an example. So imagine a light fitting was part of this lead. This is what they do. They literally sit here or sit downstairs, sorry, because I'm upstairs, as you can see, in the tiniest space ever. But they sit there and they hang the lights around their neck as they build them. I wanted to solve that issue because one of the things that I was noticing that was when we had slightly longer leads, the leads were being dragged on the floor a little bit, and that meant that they get dirty and it's not a finished product if something like that happens. So I wanted to build something that could be used as a tool, like a jig. And so I came up with this plate. So I'll show you the images that I took when it came off the printer. So I printed these. There is a 20mm square hole in the middle for 20mm aluminium extrusion. So here is our aluminium extrusion, and I'd already just checked that to make sure that it fits. It's a very tight fit, so I may have to print another one just to make it a little bit looser. What I did is I put in a little angle piece here so it's a stop, so it only goes so far, and it also means that the plate can rest on it. And I'm thinking it'll be about this high because this is quite a good, and it's by luck that this piece was this tall. But this is quite a good height to be building a fitting from in a seated position. So let me just grab a light fitting and I'll show you how that will work. So here's an example. This is a back of a spike light or a halo light, or actually quite a few of our fittings. We tried to make as many of the parts as universal as possible. And the idea is that this fits neatly in this slot so that then we can build around it. Now, actually, while I've done this, I've already noticed my first issue, because this is my first draft. I could have used Fusion's 360s, like assemblies or something, to kind of bring it all together and see how it was going to fit. I'm kind of the sort of person that just literally just throws something together and just hopes that it works and you know, like, or do revisions. But already I can tell you that really I want this to be at least this high, because we put an O-ring on the outside, and obviously if it's down here, that putting that O-ring on the outside is going to be quite difficult. So I already know that I want to make this hole a little bit bigger and the whole thing just a little bit shorter. Now, while I was doing this, so we thread the leads through. Now, sorry, I just want to explain actually how we deal with the leads on the floor. At the bottom, we've got this cross section, and the idea is that this will sit within a plastic storage box. I haven't got any small grey ones right now. I will grab one later. So I'm going to cut the legs off, so it's going to have 4 legs that fit perfectly within one of those boxes, and so it will sit within the box. And whenever you pass your leads down through the fitting, the leads will sit coiled in the box below. And then we've also got some reusable cable ties come in so that we can then coil them up underneath temporarily to get them out of the way, and just zip them up just so that it's ready to go. But I'm hoping that this is going to work out quite nicely for the guys. Obviously what I'll do is I'll reprint this and I'll finish the framework, and then I'll give it to the guys and let them test it and see what feedback they come back with, because I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with like 10 different adaptations of this. I can already tell you that the halo light can't be built with this jig, because by the time you put the top on, the top's 38mm, each top would overlap each other. So that's not really ideal, and the issue is that I wanted it to be small enough that it would fit within the water tank, because the idea is once you've built all your 10 fittings or whatever it is on that batch, God, this is so tight to get out, this stays in fairly well. I mean, it will fall out, but I mean the idea is you take it out and hold the leads. Then you could drop the whole lot in the tank, and the tank's got a internal diameter of 140mm, I believe. Maybe it's 145mm. So we need to be smaller overall than that. So I guess I could go with a circle. If I went with a circle, I could probably get more space, more units in a circle. So I'm going to look at doing that. But for the moment I'm probably going to just do an initial one that's just the same unit, slightly oversized, but a hole in the middle and just slightly shorter. So I will show you that next, which will be coming up and you'll see it as it is tomorrow, and then hopefully we'll get some footage of the guys doing a build with this plate, and you can see how that will work, and hopefully it will work really well. So yeah, that's one of the improvements. So I'll see you guys a little bit later on. So this is the revision number 3 that we've been using, and yeah, Joe's been using it all day today. He said it's worked really well for him, so which is, you know, it's great feedback. One of the changes we talked about was possibly getting some cheap tripods and mounting them to that instead of this, because the reason there's a loose box of screws with screws everywhere in here because I was using it as a weight because it's a bit wobbly, and that's just because the extrusion's a little bit off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out now and I'll show you the idea of how these are meant to be tested underwater. For some reason it's all a bit knotted down there. I don't know quite what was going on there, but at least I'll just throw this in, just give you an idea of how that works. So this should fit, there we go, fits perfectly, so you can start pushing it down. But yeah, so it gives you, at least gives you an idea. Yeah, I don't know what Joe was doing here with regards to his cables. We started using reusable cable ties to secure the cables out of the way. The idea is to keep them clean, although it doesn't exactly look completely clean there, but we're working towards it, just to sort of save cleaning up later on down the line. Yeah, you know, I think this holder works quite well. I'd love to know if you've got any suggestions, anything you can think of jig wise, you know, any changes you can think that we can make to this that will make it better. So put them in the comments below, let me know, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys later.